If you're a mid-level to C-suite leader who wants to own your growth and figure out your next small, brave move to achieve your leadership goals, you are in the right place. Welcome to the Small Brave Moves podcast, a weekly deep dive on how to be braver in leadership and in life for exceptional results. I'm your host, Nicole Bianchi, best-selling author, certified master executive coach, NSA certified speaking professional, chief bravery officer, and tough talk expert. If you're ready to become a better, braver, and more authentic leader, let's dive in. You have an ask you've been rehearsing, not a wish, not a fantasy, a specific, articulate, well-formed sentence you could deliver right now if you chose to. You know exactly how it starts. You've rehearsed it on the drive. You've imagined the moment so many times that the moment has become a substitute for the ask itself. And you've never made it. Nearly every senior leader I've ever coached has an ask that they've been sitting on. Usually it's an ask for a role or money or someone to stop, someone to start, someone to change. Sometimes it's an ask for a bigger life. Sometimes it's an ask for a smaller one that finally fits. You've been asking it in your head for so long that some part of you thinks you've already asked for it. You haven't, and not until the words leave your body in front of the person who needs to hear them the most does the ask actually exist. And until then, you're actually just talking to yourself. So I had a client, I'll call her Rachel, a senior partner at a professional services firm who had wanted to lead her practice for 11 years. 11. And she could tell me the room she'd be in, the chair she'd sit in, the exact 3 sentences she'd use. And she never made the ask. And in our 5th session, she said, Nicole, I think I'm just afraid that they're going to say no. And I said, Rachel, he cannot say yes to something you haven't asked for. His silence is not a no. His silence is the sound of him not knowing. So she made the ask on a Tuesday afternoon in March, and the conversation lasted 11 minutes, and he said yes. And when she called me in the afternoon, she said, the sentence that has stayed with me ever since, I have spent 11 years afraid of a conversation that took 11 minutes. So why does it sit there? And here are the 3 reasons that I see most, and I want you to notice which one is yours. Reason 1, you think you haven't earned it yet, so you keep earning, and earning becomes the point. And you never get to the ask because there's just one more thing to prove first. Here's the truth. There will always be one more thing. You're not done growing, but you earned it 3 roles ago. Reason 2, you're afraid the answer is no, and no would mean something about you. So let me hand you this. A no is not a verdict on your worth. A no is a data point about a moment, a person, a budget, or timing. The ask you've been rehearsing has already survived every version of your imagination, and what it hasn't survived is being not asked at all. Reason 3, and this is the one nobody names. You're afraid the answer is a yes, because yes changes everything. Yes means you actually have to do the thing. Yes means the life you've been rehearsing has to become the life you're living. And that is a bigger reckoning than the ask itself. So you stay in the safety of the rehearsal. So which one's yours? Because until you name it, you can't move past it. Hey, senior women leader, if you're the one everyone depends on, the one leading the team, carrying the pressure, managing the expectations, solving the problems, and quietly holding it all together while feeling completely exhausted underneath it all, I want you to know I get that. I've been there too. And more importantly, you don't have to keep leading this way. And that's why I created the Brave Lead Her Ship Retreat experience. My retreats are intimate, luxurious, and deeply transformational, designed for the high-performing women leader who are ready to reclaim their energy, elevate their leadership, and stop overfunctioning their way through life and work. It's not a conference, it's not surface level networking or another room where you have to perform, prove, or hold everything together. It's a deeply curated circle where you get to breathe, be held, think clearly again, reconnect with yourself, and grow alongside some extraordinary women leaders who truly understand the weight that you carry. Every detail is intentionally designed to support that, from the luxurious accommodations to the all-inclusive experience to the executive level coaching, brave conversations, integration time, and restorative wellness experiences woven throughout the retreat. You'll walk away with greater clarity, stronger boundaries, renewed energy, and a completely different way of leading that your team and your family will feel immediately. If that sounds exactly what you need right now, I'd love to personally invite you to explore one of my upcoming retreats at the link in the show notes. Maybe I'll see you soon in the rolling hills of Tuscany, or on the quartz sand beaches of Siesta Key, or maybe even in the energy vortex of Sedona. I'd be honored to hold space for you at the next Brave Leadership Retreat. So here's the reframe that changed how I really think about this. The ask you've been rehearsing, the real one, the one that would change your life, is not primarily an ask of another person. It's an ask of yourself. Because you can ask anyone for the role, the money, the change, the exit, but you have to ask yourself to become the person who's willing to hear the answer, whatever it is. And that's what self-leadership actually looks like in real life. It's conquering the internal voice that has been telling you for years that the ask is too big, too much, too soon. The hardest ask you will ever make is the one you make to yourself first. And here's what I know about that internal voice. It's not protecting you, it's keeping you. There is a difference. Protection moves you forward. Keeping you holds you exactly where you are. And you've outgrown where you are. And that's why this ask exists. So say it to yourself first, say it out loud, and then go say it to the person who needs to hear it. Here's your small brave move for the week. Name the ask in one sentence, not a paragraph, not a list of content or caveats, one sentence. And if you can't do that, you haven't decided actually what you want yet. And that's your first piece of work. So once you have the sentence, identify which of the three reasons is keeping it in your head instead of in the room. Is it the earning, the fear of no, the fear of yes? Name it, because the ask doesn't get easier with more time. More time just makes the rehearsal more comfortable. So Rachel spent 11 years afraid of a conversation that took 11 minutes. Don't spend another year. If this episode resonated, share it with someone in your life who knows they've been rehearsing. You know who they are, just send it. They'll know why. And if you want to go deeper on the framework behind the ask is actually one of the 5 tough talks from my best-selling book and leadership communication framework. Pick up a copy of 5 Tough Talks or the companion workbook. The links are in my show notes. So until next week, stop rehearsing. You've got this. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Small Brave Moves podcast. If you're wanting to take this work even deeper, I'm here to help. From engaging in inspirational keynote speeches to transformational coaching and workshops for leaders and teams, page-turning books, online courses, and enlightening leadership development retreats. There are so many ways that we can work together to take your leadership to the next level. For more information, check out the show notes. And let's do this together, one small brave move at a time. See you next week.